Hello, hello. Okay, I have to stop. I'm arguing with somebody on Twitter. I gotta stop. Okay. Good talk. Twitter person. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi. I want to make sure everything sounds good before I get started. So wait for someone to join the chat. And make sure I'm showing on the right page. Hey, it's me. Okay. If anybody wants to make sure all the volume's coming through well, and I'll start recording. Give me a heads up. Sounds good. Thank you, Riff. Yeah, and I'll start recording on my end. I'm still collecting audio of these, even though I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with them. Hi, welcome to Choose Your Illusion 2, Chapter 2, the streaming show and podcast, probably at some point, and YouTube show where I am reading Choose Your Own Adventure books and getting solicitation from the audience on how to move on. And they also end when they end. So when the story dies, we die. I've got 4 books set up for the next hour, 2 Choose Your Own Adventures and 2 off-brand Choose Your Own Adventures. Next week, not going to be streaming because of Duckstream starts that night. I need to be sleeping at 3 p.m. so I can stay up for 24 hours starting at 6. But the week after that, I will be streaming, and I have something very special planned that I'm going to preview right now. Which is, this is a pickup that I got from the Portland Retro Game Expo, are 2 of these. These are called Terror Tracks. TSR produced them. They are Choose Your Own Adventure audio CDs. So what I'm going to do is play those through my computer, and we'll all listen to the adventures of that hot sauce werewolf in the bayou, and then we'll all kind of decide where to go and see how those go. I've got 2 of those. I'm only going to do one of them in 2 weeks and save the other one, and hopefully it's not garbage. But I love TSR's weird 90s experimental period where they had more money than anything. So I think the what I want to get started with today is this guy here. This is War with the Evil Power Master. Because last time I just realized I want to make sure, because last time we did the Dragon Cave and the Cave of Time. So I just want to make sure I'm not redoing any of them, because some of these I do own multiples of. They run together. This is Choose Your Own Adventure number 37. Yeah, and that cover again. I just like this Hordak looking motherfucker here on the cover. Yeah, R.A. Montgomery, my boy. Normal quotes in the beginning. Nothing too special. I am going to take one of these books and use this thing here where it says all of the different books in the series and make a list of what I have. Riff had that idea, which I think is very good. And the reason that's good is because I do accept donations for this project. I have a big box of Choose Your Own Adventure and game books, but I don't have all of them, and I will run out at some point, I'm sure. So this is to help ensure I don't run out. If I run out, like the show will probably go on hiatus until I get more. I've been looking at thrift stores when I go, but I have not had as much time for thrifting as I want. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started here with this is for recommended RL5 ill age 10 and up. I've never seen that before. And this is to Ramsey and Anson. So Ramsey and Anson, if you're out there, keep on keeping on, you crazy, crazy diamonds. This already starts with an extremely good illustration here. What the? Like, I bet you that paper just says, like, I'm having sex with your wife. And this alien is very, very upset with it. Okay. The evil Power Master is back, Flipto. You shout angrily at your Martian friend. He's at it again. Calm down, Commander. Now, tell me what's happening. Slowly, Flipto says in his even tone. Getting up from your desk, you hand Flipto a copy of the message that has come in from a remote sector of the vast Laconian star system. The news is grim. Sudden total destruction of planets Haymog and Aruth, Sector 31-47-89. Evil Power Master claims responsibility. You are primary unit commander of the Laconian System Rapid Force, LSRF. It doesn't say that, but that's not a great acronym. A position of enormous responsibility for a person of your age. A natural leader. You earned your rank through hard work, courage, and skill. Your colleague and teammate is Flipto, a Martian of great abilities. Together you must protect the system from attack by renegade planets and forces. Turn to page 2. That's a good joke, Will. Okay. Laconian system is composed of several galaxies and thousands of planets. It's the most successful experiment in civilization for both life forms and artificial intelligence. For millennia, it has provided stability and freedom for all of its members. A price has been paid for this freedom, though. It has provoked the anger and envy of those planets denied membership in the system. Some were rejected because they were dying civilizations, failed experiments in life. Still other planets were excluded because the Laconian Congress felt that they had greater potential for evil than good. These evil planets have banded together under the leadership of a negative life force who calls himself the Evil Power Master. They are the renegades against whom you and Flipto struggle. They are dedicated to the destruction of the Laconian system. Flipto looks up from the message in his hand. The Martian's usual self-control is replaced by anger. He crumples the paper in his fist. Did you expect anything else, Commander? We both knew that the Evil Power Master would be back. We are sadly familiar with his magical powers, or what some call magical powers. Here 1 minute, there the next, a beam of destructive light today, a cloud of poison gas tomorrow, a corrupt government official in a high position, a feeling of dread that cloaks a city, or a shower of missiles on the mother planet Locus. You're right, Flipto. I hoped we had destroyed him in the Purple Days War, which took so many lives in such a short time. I hoped. Flipto, you did too. Flipto nods in agreement and speaks again. Well, Commander, don't be so hard on yourself. You did your best. Right now he's back in full force, seeking revenge for the renegade planets we've destroyed. His power must be strong again, or he would have never attacked. What form will he take this time? It remains to be seen. But what should we do, Flipto? We can't just sit and wait. We could go right to Sector 31-47-A9. Those are my favorite measurements, too. And then just, whoa. And check it out. But that means calling in a space vehicle from patrol. Or we could call in all unit commanders and meet with the Laconian Congress to plan for defense and attack. So what do you guys think? Should we go off on our own and try to take care of this evil Power Master? Or should we get together the Congress and plan for attack and defense? This is like the boring beginning chapter of Mass Effect 1. Space Congress. True Congress, time for action. Hell with Congress, Renegade, Renegade playthrough. I'm slightly rude. It's not really morality. Okay, so it seems like loose cannon. We're loose cannoning it. I really hope this is the end. Not because I want this to be over, but I just think it'd be very funny. Okay, we're going to check out Sector 31-47-89. Let's go out there and have a look, Flipto. We'll see what he's up to this time, or at least get some clues as to what to expect next. Flipto nods, but before you can leave, it is essential to inform headquarters of your intention. Your destination is a remote sector of the galaxy, closest to the edge of the Void of Nero, a void so large that travel in the zone can be perilous. The last time you were there, you barely got out. Flipto communicates with headquarters. His rapid and logical Martian mind lets him convey the message quickly. Ready, Flipto? Of course, he responds. You and Flipto move to the teletransporter for immediate dematerialization and thought speed travel. 27 minutes later, you begin to rematerialize aboard the space frigate Menton. The ship's commander is Sartan, a highly respected combat leader and orbit station commander. She's waiting by the teletransporter. God, I wish I was just could not call that teletransporter to welcome you. Hello, Sartan, you say as you rematerialize completely. My body needs some minor adjustments. The parts don't seem to fit together. Whoa. Welcome, Commander. Perhaps one of the crew can help. No thanks. You wiggle around a bit. There it is. I've got it now. Good! Turn to page 11. You follow Flipto and Sartan into the command room, where a three-dimensional model of the galactic sector is displayed by laser. Sartan points to the model of the sector. So there you see it. Or rather, you don't see it. Hamog and Aruth were in their usual orbital paths. Then they weren't. Their destruction was complete. All that remained in their place was a murmur of anguish, which we picked up on the sound recorder. Sartan keys the recorder, and a haunting sound fills the room. As you stare thoughtfully at the map, an idea pops in your head. What about light? Did you pick up any light radiation, Sartan? Of course, Commander. One trail of light seems to lead towards the void. Another heads off towards the planet of Follop. You look up at Flipto, who has followed your train of thought. He had already planned the routes for the two of you to take. Route 1 leads to Follop. Route 2 leads to the Void of Nero. You and Flipto confer quickly and decide on your destination. Sartan offers to supply you with equipment, a vehicle, and a droid or two to assist you on your mission. In minutes, you are ready to depart. So we got the Void of Nero, which I think sounds cooler, but Follop could have, like, some goofy aliens, and maybe we'll get the origin, like some Flipto origins. Does anyone have any strong feelings on the Void of Nero versus Follop? Frankly, I can see the argument for both. I think, okay, yeah, so droid, Follop, there are droids there. We get droids, I think, either way, but we might get more droids in Follop. Instinct is the Void. The Void of Nero sounds really good. Follop is up. That's a Follop. So far, Follop. Okay, let's try, let's do some Follop tactics and see how this goes. Page 21 here. It doesn't immediately die, so. The planet Follop is part of a star system on a unique configuration. Triple moons and a giant sun occupy a remote galactic space. Life forms on Follop are non-humanoid and considered dangerous to explorers. Space literature abounds with reports of crews that never returned from the planet, or survivors that were badly mauled. Recently, a humanoid colony was established on Follop, which is ideally situated for special types of agricultural study. Your cousin Colin is part of the Follop agricultural research team. The journey to Follop is a harrowing hyperspace trip. After hours of dodging asteroids and comets, you are in orbit, preparing for a landing. But intense solar flare eruptions have knocked out contact with the Follop base station. But this is doing a lot of summary for a lot of intense action. All methods of communication have been disrupted. Flipto has been doing his best, but until now, the results have been negative. Wait a minute, Commander. I'm getting something. What is it, Flipto? An SOS. It's coming from a minor orbiting planet of Follop. It's off our flight plan. If we answer it, we delay landing on Follop. What do you want to do? So are we going to go to the SOS planet? Or are we going to decide, screw the SOS, we need to take care of Follop immediately? Can't go back to the void. There's no going back in this game. So my instinct is to do the SOS, just because I tend to play the first things. But truly, I'm listening to you. I skip the SOS. The evil Power Master is the threat. True. And there are all the people on Follop. Screw the SOS. Vote 2. Okay. I feel like 3 votes is probably when I'm going to start moving forward this project. So just whenever 3 votes for one thing comes in, I think that feels good to me as a time. SOS sounds like a game over. That's probably true. Okay, let's screw the SOS and see what happens. Hopefully Colin wasn't there. Proceed with landing on Follop. Follow the light track and deal with the SOS later. See, it's even then we'll deal with the SOS later. Our primary mission, is to close in on the evil Power Master. You say, but Commander, it's the code of space to answer an SOS. I know, Flipto, but I am overriding tradition and laws, or whatever you call it. Our mission is more important, much more important than one crew in trouble. We must save millions of lives. The evil Power Master threatens planets all over the universe. It is your choice, Commander, and your responsibility. Please make a recording of my formal objection of your decision. As you wish, Flipto, but I won't change my mind. We won't ignore them, but our first and most important mission is to track down the evil Power Master. We might be on a wild goose chase, searching for a light track leading to Follop, but I stick by my decision. Flipto nods. You see a look of concern. Flipto really doesn't like this. Concern on his face, but you are convinced you are right. The space vehicle is in position over Follop, and you give the order to descend to the planet's surface. Slowly, the ship moves into Follop's atmosphere. Outside, there is the usual red glow from re-entry friction, then a soft bounce of its retro rockets to cushion the landing. The ship is down. Wow! Flipto, look at that! Outside the thick protective portals, you glimpse what must have once been a thriving, industrious, and elegant space colony. Oh, Colin, I hope you're okay. The city, or what's left of it, smolders in the bright light of the system's suns. Fires here and there nibble at the vestiges of buildings. No life forms are in evidence. Turn to page 38. This does seem like... Oh, not quite the bad ending yet. From the looks of it, we are too late to help. Commander, this is not the trademark of the evil Power Master. This is conventional destruction. This is everyday, war-torn mess. Looks more like the work of the Neris, or their equally vicious enemies, the Boudins. You nod in agreement, but something still nags at you. How about that light track that we were supposed to be following? Whatever it was, Commander, it has no meaning to us now. There's nothing left. We came too late, Flipto says with resignation. Flipto, we can't know that for sure unless we investigate. The light must have meant something. This may be the work of the evil Power Master after all, and there may be survivors. One thing we do know, Commander, those people who issued the SOS still need our help. What is the next step? Ah, Flipto. So we can decide to get out of our ship and search for survivors, or we can decide to leave Follop and search for those who sent the SOS. I feel like the game is really pushing us towards that SOS, but I also think that it is funnier to fuck that SOS, man. Flipto is not the boss of me. Who's in charge here, Flipto? Martian scum such as yourself, or the space commander of the whatever we are? So my instinct is to skip the SOS, but I'll listen to everyone else, even if it does end up being the ending. I like the captain, like the adventures of like Captain Stubborn Face in the Crab Nebula or what have you. Tell my wife I said hello. Okay, I'm gonna take the executive order and skip this SOS, and just so we can get on track with our 4 books for this. Page 61. Come on, let's see what really happened here. Follow me. You command the others. You leave the protection of the ship. Hours later, after you have searched through the devastated city, the only living creature you come across is an aged farmer. He is an exile from another colony. Condemned for a forgotten crime, he was sent to work the grain fields of Follop for life. The farmer tells you that it was indeed the forces of the evil Power Master who struck. Don't trust them ever. They'll use anything they can to win. Here they use fire. Simple fire to destroy. What does the evil Power Master want? Why? The old man looks at you grimly and speaks. Come now, that's easy enough. Power, raw power. You're too late, he's gone. You'll never defeat him. So we are on the right trail. You say goodbye to the farmer, return to the base headquarters at Lacus, and report in. There's a message waiting you from the evil Power Master. It reads, Foolish human, you think you can deal with me? Then try. I challenge you to a duel. Meet me in the stadium of Axum at noon tomorrow. Signed, Evil Power Master. You have to agree to the challenge. This wanton destruction must stop. The next day finds you at the stadium. The evil Power Master has broadcast the news of the duel, and crowds overflow the stadium. You arrive not full of hope, but feeling that you are a sacrifice to evil. In the center of the stadium, clad in the clothes of a simple peasant, stands the evil Power Master. He is unarmed. He looks at you coolly, then throws his arms up to the sky. A horrible laugh spreads through the air. Fools! I am too much for you. With a clap of thunder and a cloud of dust, the evil Power Master disappears. You stand alone in the middle of the stadium. You are relieved to be alive, but angry. His seeming cowardice has robbed you of the chance to do battle. Next time you think, next time, the end. So here's, in case you guys wanted to see what the evil Power Master looks like, here he is raising his hands to the sky, dressed as a peasant. His neck comes out of his shoulder in an extremely weird way. So that is the story of the Space Commander and his idiot companion, and the book that really wanted us to check out the SOS. But we ended up losing a game of football through forfeiture, and thus losing just in general, because the evil Power Master's plan was to ask us to come to an arena to do something with him, and then leave. And that's extremely what happened. So, good job, evil Power Master. Now for something a little bit lighter. Here is the Nintendo Game Book's Monster Mix-Up here. And the way that the Nintendo ones work is that when you get to a section, you have to solve a little puzzle, like a maze or a junior jumble. Those have already been solved because I bought this used. So I'm just going to show those to you when we get to them. But let's see this. This is number 3 Nintendo game book, and I've never read any of these before. I just have them. It's not in great condition. By Bill McCoy. Features the Super Mario Brothers. I'll read the intro here. Dear game player, you're about to guide me. This is Mario speaking. I'm not going to do the Mario voice for this first part where he's narrating, but I'll do it if it's just dialogue. Just to picture this through the Mario voice. You're about to guide me through a great adventure. As you read this book, you will help me decide where to go and what to do. Whether I succeed or fail is up to you. At the end of every chapter, you'll make choices that determine what happens next. Special puzzles will help you decide what I should do, if you can solve them. The chapters in this book are in a special order. Sometimes I must go backwards in order to go forward, if you know what I mean. Along the way, you'll find many different items to help me on my quest. When you read that I have found something, such as a hammer, you'll see a box like the one below. Mario now has a hammer. Use page 121 to keep track of the things you collect and keep score. Good luck. Driplessly yours, Mario. So let's take a look at page 121, which is our character sheet on here. And like I said, this book is in pretty ratty condition, so it's... this has not been... we'll actually mark this out. So this is our drip-by-drip scorecard here. And, let me get a writing implement. So keep track of your coins, things. Use this chart to find out your HPI, Heroic Plumbing Index, on this adventure. For every gold coin that Mario collected during his adventure, you score 10 points. Then check the rating on the chart. Did Mario find the hidden room? Did he explore the main drain of Koopa Castle? Did he rescue the princess? Read the book again until you reach the highest possible score. Well, that's not what we're going to do. But we do get a rating here, which I like a lot. So let's get into the monster mix-up. Hurry, hurry, step right up to the Koopa and Kaylee circus. The barker's voice bellows over cheerful circus music. Mario twirls the end of his black mustache as he looks at the weird creatures in the sideshow tents. It's nice to see all these monsters behind the bars for a change, he says. When they're not, they're usually chasing us. Ever since they found the pipe that leads from their Brooklyn plumbing shop to the magical Mushroom Kingdom, Mario and his younger brother Luigi have come up against more strange creatures than they could count. The Mushroom Kingdom is full of them, from its own little fungoid citizens to the evil turtle hordes who are constantly trying to take over the kingdom. The Super Mario Brothers are often called upon to save the day. This day, though, everything is quiet. Mario and Luigi look forward to a fun visit. I'm hungry, Luigi mumbles through a mouthful of popcorn. Let's get some cotton candy. All you care about is your stomach, Mario tells his tall, skinny brother. This is not true, Luigi is very offended. I also like the tightrope, walkers, and the trapeze act. I like the clowns, the ruler. Oh, this is a princess. I like the clowns, the ruler of the Mushroom Kingdom pipes up. His plump. Oh, it's the man ruler from like Mario Bros. 3. I like the clowns, the ruler of the Mushroom Kingdom pipes up. His plump little hands comb popcorn crumbs out of his beard. They're funny. Says his pretty daughter, Princess Toadstool. I don't see what's so funny about clowns. They're always throwing pies in people's faces. What a mess. She adjusts the little golden crown in her hair. I think we should have had a flower show instead. But dear, this is an important science exhibit. The king sounds as if he has memorized this speech. The circus has all kinds of strange animals, like a mix between a chain chomp and a patooey. Science schmience, the princess wrinkles her dainty nose. Who wants to look at more monsters? I have an idea, says little Toad, the royal mushroom retainer. Let's go to that tent over there and have a souvenir picture taken. A sign outside the tent says, snapshots of you with the rich and famous. Inside, Mario sees life-size cardboard cutouts of the king, the princess, and even himself. The friends line up in front of the camera, in front of a camera so huge, the photographer is hidden behind it. Before they can even pose, he shouts, "Okay, now smile!" A blinding flash goes off. Mario blinks his eyes, trying to make the green and red stars go away. Hey, he shouts when his vision finally clears. Something's different. Solve the puzzle to find out what Mario means. Here's what the photographer's tent looked like before and after the flash. How puzzling. Some of the things in the picture are missing. In picture 1 are missing in picture 2. Help Mario figure out how many objects are missing. Who's Quap Mob? Who's saying one last chance to change that? I mean, I can change the thing. I didn't know there was an IRL thing. I just put choice in. But is Quap Mob the is that actually a person? Who is this, a citizen? Am I under citizen's arrest from this, or is this a bot? I wonder. I don't understand streaming. Anyway, I've changed it, so you're all good. You're good, narc. Okay, so we have these two pictures here, and this has actually not been filled out. So here are the one last chance change your thing. No, I know, but what does one last chance mean? Are you the governing body that is going to like I switched it, but like what does one last chance mean? Anywho, here are the pictures that I need to see the difference in picture 4. So it's how many things are missing, and I won't make you just read, watch me solve this puzzle. But since it's not already done, I'll try to do it quick, I guess. So in the second one, Mario doesn't have a mustache. The princess is gone entirely. So that's one thing that's missing. So two things are missing. The crown on the photographer, Toad's mouth, the logo on the plumbing bag, and that's it. So if I think 5 things are missing, turn to page 108. Okay. Ooh, still blinking from the flash, the king turns to his daughter. How many copies should we get, dear? Dear? There's no one there. The princess is gone, Mario cries. She can't be, Toad exclaims. He runs around the tent. Princess, princess. There can't be many hiding places around here. Luigi rolls up his sleeves. We'll take the whole tent apart. Take it apart, voices chant from the tent entrance. Luigi turns around and a green and orange ball flies into his face. He staggers back, banging into the tent pole. Watch out, Mario yells. You're to knock the tent down. Knock it down, chanting in sing-song voices. A group of clowns in thick makeup and silly clothes come dancing in. Wait, says the king. Stop, says Luigi. Go away, Toad shouts. But the clowns start jumping and tumbling everywhere. One yanks on the king's beard. Another throws a rug over Toad. Hey, you bozo! Luigi suddenly yells. Watch it with the ball. Whoa! The brightly colored circus ball lands under Luigi's feet. He desperately tries to balance, and well, there's a terrible crash. Luigi says from beneath a pile of cardboard cutouts. The king helps Luigi up. Are you alright? You look awfully flat. That's because what you're holding up is just a cardboard cutout of me. Luigi struggles out from under another part of the pile. They use it for the picture taking. Really? The king says. I thought you needed a camera. The princess couldn't have just vanished, Toad says. Well, I mean, she could have, but she'd need a magic potion or a warp flute or something. I'm tired of looking and not finding anything. The king leans against the wall of the tent. Help! He goes right through the wall, landing with a splat in the grass outside. There's a slit in the tent right here, Mario says. It's right where the princess was standing. But where did she go from here? They can see two tents nearby. One is the Hall of Horrors. The other is the Pin the Tail on the Koopa tent. Let's look at the Hall of Horrors first, the king suggests. Oh, why? Asks Mario. It's just kind of the place to hide somebody who's been kidnapped. The king smiles. And besides, I love being scared. We're definitely going to the House of Horrors. I'm not going to avoid going to a haunted house in real life or in a game book. So. Maybe you are right, Mario says. Oh, we should check out the Hall of Horrors. He leads the way toward the tent. This one doesn't have any visitors. My subjects aren't very brave, the king confesses. Most of the other tents in the circus sideshow are so colorful, they're almost blinding. Mario sees one with yellow walls and a bright blue top and purple stripes. Another is lime green with shocking pink polka dots. Looks like something from the king's wardrobe, Mario whispers. This is treason. It doesn't say that's treason. But the Hall of Horrors is all one color, a sort of dingy gray. The only way to tell it's a Hall of Horrors is the sign outside. It's painted in shaky red letters with a crude picture of a skull. This place doesn't look very scary to me, sniffs the king. Mario pokes his head into the tent. It's pitch dark inside. Come on, the coast is clear. He leads his way into the blackness. All we have to do is to, find a light. Coming right up, a raspy voice says. Click, the tent is flooded with light. There's the princess, tied to a pole that holds the tent up. The rest of the tent is filled with more Koopa Troopas than anyone would ever want to see at one time. Standing by the light switch is Morton Koopa, one of Bowser's 7 slimy kids. He grins. This is horrifying, speaks Toad. Why did we ever listen to the king? Mario groans. Get them, Morton screams. He cackles as his henchmen subdue the 3 adventurers. I thought I would have to settle for just one mushroom royal to add to the Pop's mushroom mixing experiments. But when I deliver all of you to him, I'm sure I'll get the new Koopa motor scooter I've been waiting. Ha ha ha, game over. Okay, let's see how we did on the score on that one. I feel like probably not very good. So how many coins did we get? None. Did we get to the main drain of the Koopa's castle? No. Did we rescue the princess? No. Did we find the hidden coin room? No. We didn't get the hammer or the pen. So we have 150 points or less. We are a drained brain. So we really fucked that one up, apparently. We could also become a plumber with promise, a fluid mechanic, a power plunger, or a rompin' stompin' wrenchmaster supreme. But unfortunately, we are a drained brain. So I know that this one is, out of all of them, that I've been disappointed that ended quickly. This is the one I am the most disappointed that ended quickly. Because I wanted to get to more of those games. But I think I have 2 more Nintendo books that will come up in the future. So nobody despair too much over the exciting tale of Mario going into a haunted house and then immediately getting captured forever. And presumably dying. We'll go ahead and we'll end with a Choose Your Own Adventure. But before that, so this is meaty, actually. So we'll see if we might not get through this one because this is thick. This is a crossroads adventure in the world of Catherine Kurtz's Deryni, the Deryni Challenge by Stephen Belias. I don't know anything about this. It's based on some kind of fantasy book, but you can see for a choose your own adventure, it is relatively thick. And yeah, this is, as I mentioned, a crossroads adventure. So we'll see how this goes. This seems like it might have some kind of basic literary allusions to it. And this might take up the net last, does it say how many endings? Let's see. Doesn't look like it. But these crossroad adventures, ooh, baby. The Crossroad Adventures, there's a Xanth one. I gotta get that. I read a lot of those really terrible books, but there's also ones that are in Amber and in Dragon Riders of Pern, one in Stargate. So a bunch of these kind of 80s semi-children's fantasy books. There are Crossroads Adventures for them. And I'm looking forward to get them. I have to get that Xanth one. I might go on eBay for that. Because I don't know if the people have read Xanth books, but they're really terrible and extremely sexist and bad. And I read, like, conservatively 20 of them. Here's the introduction. Meet Geordie Drummond. He's young, headstrong, impulsive, and part Deryni. He's also a distant kinsman of the great Camber MacRory himself in those dangerous, unsettled days immediately following the restoration of King Sinhill Haldane. As the news of King Imra's downfall filtered fitfully from the Valoray with the season's first heavy snows early in 905, confusion and uncertainty spread too, for no one knew what to expect of the former priest now crowned king, and it was said that Sinhill Haldane had not even wanted to be king. Camber and his immediate family made it their business to remedy that. His priest son Joram, his daughter... You guys keeping up with this? Because I'm not. This is his daughter Eveline and her healer husband Rhys. The four spent most of that winter and early spring in Valoray, easing the reluctant King Sinhill into patterns of kingship, reassuring him and his pregnant young queen and guiding his selection of the council lords who would assist in the governing of the newly restored realm. Very occasionally, Camber made the half-day journey to his own favorite country seat of Carreri, I don't know how to pronounce that, northeast of the city, to administer his own lands and attend to family business. For the Earl of Culdie, Jesus Christ, this is, let's see if this works. This might have to pull the ripcord on this one and put this off to another day when I'm a little less tired. Culdie, for the Earl of Culdie was head of the influential MacRory clan, whose predecessors had helped set the first Festals on the throne of Gwynedd nearly a century before, and had called a halt when the last of the Festilic scion proved unworthy of his crown. Family had always been important to the MacRorys, and family continued to be a major factor even when the fragile new royal family of Gwynedd fell under their guidance and protection. One of the items of the MacRory family business was the first winter season of King Sinhill's reign is the young Geordie Drummond. Do you remember that? Because I guess that's supposed to be our main character here. Though Geordie sometimes calls Camber uncle for convenience, their actual familial connection is very tenuous, indeed, by any but the very extended reckoning of Highland kinship. In fact, it is James Drummond who is Geordie's uncle, Jamie Drummond, who will marry the widow of the slain Cathan MacRory, Camber's eldest son, in the summer of 906. Jamie and his brother Henry, Geordie's father, are grandsons of Camber's uncle James Drummond. This is intolerable. I'm having a really hard time with this. Boy. Yeah, this has to be. This actually has stats and stuff. This is a game book. This is going to be a whole session. So I'm sorry so this Crossroads adventure, I'm going to do this from the beginning, and do this. So this is cool. This one has stats and stuff. This is like a lone wolf book, which I didn't realize. And we will look at the examples here real quick for what they consider charisma to be. So if you have 3 charisma, you're the Hunchback of Notre Dame. 5, an ugly used car salesman. 7, Richard Nixon today. 10, an average person. 12, a team coach. 14, Magnum PI. 16, Henry Kissinger slash Jim Degrees. And 18, Doctor Who slash Professor Harold Hill, parentheses, Centauri. So that's how this tells us. So this is going to be fun, but I think this is going to be the beginning of a session, and I'm going to read the intro and do stuff, either make the character or figure things out a little bit before I get to it. Maybe I'll wait until I get the Piers Anthony one, because at least then it won't just read like nonsense. So I apologize for pulling the ripcord on that. I could not talk. So as a bonus, we'll see. We'll do one more Choose Your Own Adventure, and then depending on... actually, here's a treat. Here's something I've been saving. And I haven't really been saving it, but I think I only have one of them. So let's do, instead of that, let's do You Are Spider-Man. The Sinister Six by Richie Shavat. So Spider-Man, that's always a good time. It has this like shiny spider eyes. That's fun. And it's fun to be Spider-Man. And look, it just starts. There's no intro where it's like Spider-Man's uncle of the Gwinnell clan who once, etc. So let's just get right into being Spider-Man. Watch out, it's gonna blow. A shriek of terror shatters the air in Midtown Manhattan. It's a bomb, shouts a policeman as he struggles to help a fallen woman to her feet. Those nuts are gonna blow up Trump Tower. Whoa! Yes, Spider-Man's woke. Everyone take cover. High above the madness in the street, an amplified voice rings out. We give the city of New York 30 minutes to agree to our demands. If not, the destruction of this symbol of decadent waste will be the start of our revenge. Alone in the doorway, if there's a way to fail this, I'm going to fail it. Alone in the doorway, you watch the scene of mass hysteria without moving. To all appearances, you're just Peter Parker, ordinary citizen. But in your other identity, as Spider-Man, you ponder for a moment. What could I do? Suddenly, a different voice cries out, "Cut!" As if by magic, the panic melts away. Okay, people, says the voice in the loudspeaker. That was good. Take a break while you set up for the next shot. The movie extras sigh in relief and move as a group to the table where the coffee and donuts are laid out for them. Of course, that's what they are, extras, actors in a movie that's being shot on location in New York City. It's called Fatal Action 3, a movie that you have a special interest in because one of the roles is being played by your wife, Mary Jane Watson Parker. What do you think, Tiger? Mary Jane says, walking towards you in her costume as police detective Emma Steele. I think those nasty terrorists are in trouble, you reply with a grin. Hey, Mary Jane, you have to get ready for the skyscraper stunt. It's one of the production assistants. He moves up to a nearby skyscraper where the movie crew is getting ready. Come on, MJ says, leading you by the hand. Walk me there. You follow her into the building and ride into the elevator. Together you walk out onto a large balcony many stories above the street. There she is, says a tall young man. Who's this? He says to Mary Jane. He steps forward and looks at you with a grin. Another pesky fan? Actually, he's my biggest fan, Mary Jane answers. This is my husband, Peter. Peter, this is Chip Alvarez, the director. Hi, you say, shaking hands. I've seen all your movies. Suddenly you realize that your spider sense is acting up. Something is wrong here. There's some danger nearby, but you don't know what it is. Nice meeting you, says Alvarez, but we're on a tight schedule here. If you want, you can watch from over there. He turns to MJ. Mary Jane, we're all set up. Are you ready? Sure, she replies, then gives you a wink. Don't get into trouble, Tiger. I might have to rescue you. She follows Alvarez to the edge of the balcony. Now your heart starts beating for real. You know it's only a movie, but that's your Mary Jane who's walking out to the edge of a 20-story drop. You don't have to, and you don't have your web shooters ready in case something goes wrong. Is this what your spider sense is warning you about? Is the stunt too dangerous? Go to page 76. That's definitely going to be Mysterio. I hope they know what they're doing, you say to yourself, because that stunt sure does look dangerous. In the scene, Mary Jane's character is supposed to sneak up on the movie bad guys by sliding along the wire from the balcony to the Trump Tower. You know that Mary Jane is only supposed to grab onto the wire. Then a stunt woman, dressed in exactly the same clothes as MJ, will do the actual slide from building to building. Mary Jane, the stunt woman, and Chip Alvarez are standing near the edge of the balcony, talking to another man. Who's that? You ask one of the crew members. That's Al Markham, he replies. He's the special effects coordinator. The stunt coordinator is in charge of this stunt, but Al's got to make it look even more dangerous, using some movie magic. It seems dangerous enough, you say. It only looks dangerous, the man answers. The stunt double will be clipped into the wire with a safety line. But in spite of his words, you can't relax. Your spider sense is still buzzing. Just then, in the street below, you hear the sounds of sirens going by. Real sirens, not movie sirens. Hey, maybe they're after the real terrorist, says a crew member. Wouldn't that be something, you say, trying to laugh, but inside you're not laughing. Maybe those cops are heading for real trouble, you say to yourself. Maybe that's what my spider sense was warning you about. But no, it can't be that. It only warns me about things that are close by. Besides, those cops might not be going to an emergency. You can't make up your mind. Should you follow the police cars or stay with MJ? What do you guys think? Probably protect her wife. This is a pretty One More Day Choose Your Own Adventure. This is actually in the One More Day verse. And she's a fox. Like MJ is not to be trifled with when it comes to being a trophy wife for little nerd Peter Parker. So I think we would probably stay with our wife. That seems like the appropriate thing, and also not an instant game over. So 131. Game over. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. I can't chase every police siren I hear, you tell yourself after an agonizing few seconds. Your spider sense is still buzzing, and that makes you feel weird. Usually it warns you about some immediate danger. You try to clear your head and watch Al Markham, the special effects man, talking to one of the assistants. Curious, you walk over to see what they're doing. Hi, I'm Peter Parker, you say, introducing yourself. I'm Mary Jane's husband. You stick out your hand, and Markham takes it, squeezing it in an iron-tight grip. Hi, Markham grins. Can't talk now, Markham says when you ask how he's doing. Big scene, but Jerry will show you. Markham walks away, and Jerry, his assistant, holds out his hand. In his palm are some small paper tubes that look like firecrackers. Each one is attached to a wire. These are squibs, Jerry explains. They're small explosives, not very powerful. We use them when we want to make it look like someone's been shot. We put them under the actor's clothing and then set them off with radio controls. The actor wears a pad underneath to protect his skin. Well, thanks, Jerry. He shows you the radio control device, a small orange and blue box with a large red button. All I have to do is push this button and pow, 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 says Jerry. Jerry still likes his job. I like him. Suddenly, your spider sense kicks into high gear. Fully alert, you look around you. MJ's stunt double is ready for her scene. Alvarez and the stunt director stand behind the camera. Someone yells, action. The stunt woman swings out onto the wire. She's holding on with both hands as she slides out into the air, dangling hundreds of feet above the street. She moves across towards the distant Trump Tower building, pulling herself hand by hand. She's almost there when suddenly she stops. Hey, she shouts, I'm stuck. Without waiting another second, you head for the doorway, ducking into the building. Seconds later, you found an empty office, and in a flash, you've got your uniform and web shooters on. I don't know if I like that being called a uniform. Never fear, Spider-Man is here, you announce grandly. Unfortunately, nobody seems to appreciate your dramatics. They're all too busy looking at the stunt woman dangling like a doll at the far end of the wire. In the few seconds it took you to change, she's lost her hold, and the only thing between her and a deadly drop is her safety line. Spider-Man, shouts Chip Alvarez. Help her, please. Without another thought, you shoot a web line towards the Trump Tower, kick off from the wall, and begin to rush through the air towards the trapped stunt woman. In a split second, you're flying through an arc towards the other building. You're getting ready to shoot another web and change directions to bring you up under the dangling stunt woman, but as you do, your spider sense goes crazy again. What is it? You only have a moment to react. Is your spider sense telling you not to head for the stunt woman, or is it telling you she's about to drop to her death? You have to decide now. So, are we going to save the stunt woman, or is our spider sense trying to trick us somehow? Yeah, this is very mechanical and step by step in how it's describing web slinging. So my instinct is that our spider sense is not trying to trick us. That doesn't seem a thing. I'm going to trust the spider sense and keep saving the woman, even though this could be a misdirect. Like we could come back to Mary Jane and she's just dangling from a Green Goblin, Gwen Stacy hook. But we'll go towards the stunt woman. She is to die. 102. And the someone might even be Gwen Stacy. And this is not the end. She's about to drop, you think. I better get to her, fast. And in the split second it takes you to make the decision, her lifeline snaps. As if everything... Man, can you imagine if we had not gone through? Like Spider-Man was swinging towards her, stopped, then she fell and died. And then him walking back on his feet to the director and all the actors and stuff, and them just looking at him like you're about to save her. Why did you stop? In the split second it takes you to make the decision, her lifeline snaps. As if everything's in slow motion, you can see her begin to fall toward the street, hundreds of feet below. Adjusting your swing, you aim to head off her fall and catch her. Then, in the next split second, she's right below the stunt woman. Or you're right below the stunt woman, but she's gone. In fact, in a blink of an eye, the entire scene has changed. The stunt woman is still hanging from a cable, only now she's behind you. Somehow you've turned completely around, and you're headed back towards the building you started from. And the stone wall is coming at you like a freight train. Only a lightning-fast twist saves you from crashing into it head first. What happened? How could you make such a mistake? Someone or something is playing tricks on you. Spider-Man, what are you doing? It's Chip Alvarez, the director, shouting at you from a balcony a few feet away. He looks furious. How can you play games at a time like this? Why don't you rescue her? You realize that to Alvarez, and this is exactly what I thought would happen, to Alvarez and everyone else, it looks like you're just swinging around, ignoring the danger of the stunt woman. But you've got to rescue her. But how? Something created an illusion, making you almost crash headfirst into the side of a building. You would have too, if not for your spider sense. And your spider sense is still tingling. How do you know that you're not seeing an illusion now? So 42 if we try to save the stunt woman, 40 if we try to find the cause of the illusion. Yeah, this does seem outside of the scope of Mysterio to me. Who, remind everyone, he does not have superpowers. Yeah, this is a tough one. So Sleepy Smiles, got to vote for trying to save her now. What else does everyone else say? Come on, guys, I need your help. Not just me. Spider-Man needs your help. I will ignore the SOS and Flipto. Fucking Flipto. Okay, I'm going to keep trying to save her because she still seems like she's going to die, and I don't want to seem like an idiot to all these people. If this is the end, I think that's probably going to be okay. I hope it's not, but it is. You can't stand by and ignore her calls, even if it means taking some risks. You shoot your web lines, kick off from the building, and swing towards the stunt woman. At least you swing towards where you think she is. Your spider sense is screaming like 100 fire alarms, but it's too late. You crash into an office and send shards of glass falling onto the street below, and the people walking there. I just had that line. That's not there. In agonizing pain, you gaze around in disbelief. Through the broken window, you can see the movie crew rescuing the stunt woman. No thanks to you. It's a slow, agonizing journey home over the rooftops, and you barely make it back to your apartment before you collapse, bleeding and hurt. For now, your adventure is over. So let's I've got another 7 minutes. I'm probably gonna pick up another Choose Your Adventure, but I let's recap that for a second. What this thrilling adventure that Spider-Man had was, where he goes to watch his wife work, and gets fooled by Mysterio and is utterly owns by swinging around like an idiot, almost dodging a wall, and then slamming right into a wall and getting cut up with tons of glass. And then that's it. So if anybody was watching Spider-Man doing that, I imagine would be hilarious. We have time for one last one here. This is the Secret Treasure of Tibet. I picked this because I thought it would be very racially sensitive. So let's see what happens. Choose Your Adventure number 36, The Secret Treasure of Tibet, by Richard Brightfield. So here's a helpful map in case you don't know what we're really dealing with here. It tells you where Tibet and Nepal and China and stuff are. You have just finished a correspondence course on how to be a private investigator. While you're at home one day, wondering what your first case will be, there's a soft knock on your front door. When you open it, you see an old man standing there. Can I help you? You ask.
May I come in? He says. There's something I must ask you.
You help the old man to a chair. He sits down with a heavy sigh.
My name is Bertram Buckingham, he begins. I got your name from the referral service at your correspondence school. I have a job for you, one that will send you on an adventure beyond your wildest dreams, and all expenses paid, I might add.
I haven't had much experience yet, you say.
And that's perfect, Mr. Buckingham interrupts. I need someone with a young, fresh mind.
Sounds interesting. Tell me a little more about the case, you say, pulling a chair over next to Mr. Buckingham. We trust Mr. Buckingham, right?
It all goes back many, many years, to 1942 to be exact, during the Second World War, he says. I was in the British Army then, and I've hence lost my accent. Stationed in northern India, I was put in charge of 2 Germans. They weren't Nazis, but we were holding them until the end of the war. One night they escaped and headed north towards the Himalayas. Since they were my charges, I followed them all the way through Nepal and into Tibet. I lost their trail in a blinding snowstorm, but stumbled onto a valley called Siling La. In the midst of the snow-covered mountains, it was almost a tropical oasis. Plants and flowers were everywhere, and in the center I saw the perfect jewel of a monastery. There I saw an amazing sight, one that has haunted me ever since.
This is how Dr. Strange happened.
What did you see? You ask Mr. Buckingham. The monks there could levitate themselves, rise off the ground and stay there, he answers. I saw it. He even tried to teach me how to levitate. But I still hadn't found the Germans, so I had to continue my search.
But what has this got to do with today? You ask.
I've told this story many times, particularly at my club. Hubert Crossley, another member and a millionaire, has often teased me about it.
Buckingham hesitates, looking uncomfortable.
A month ago, in a weak moment, I bet my entire fortune against his. If this time next year I can't scientifically prove that levitation is possible, then everything I own becomes his, and he has it in writing.
Something tells you that your first case isn't going to be easy. Where do I come in? You ask. Turn to page 76. Like how it made sure to let us know they weren't Nazis.
Buckingham suddenly looks hopeful. You have to go to Tibet, to the valley of Siling La, and either learn how to levitate yourself or bring back someone who can. I drew a map of Siling La's location that I'll give you if you agree to go.
Why all the way to Tibet? You ask. I've read about spiritual groups here in the city, and they say they practice levitation.
They say they can levitate, replies Buckingham grimly, but they all fail in front of Crossley's scientific panel.
Then why don't you go to Tibet? You ask.
No, I'm too old and tired. I'd never make it. That's why I need you.
Still, it would save a lot of trouble if we could find someone closer to home, you offer.
Well, give it a try if you won't. Perhaps this will help.
Buckingham hands you a newspaper clipping dated a few days earlier. There's a photo of a woman in a short article. Sylvia Morrison, the noted anthropologist, has just returned from a trip to India and the Himalayas, where she has been studying the phenomenon known as mental telepathy and levitation. Can you imagine a world where everyone cares this much about levitation?
If you will come to my house tomorrow, says Mr. Buckingham, I'll give you a map and a check to cover your expenses. By the way, you might see a Mr. Snide at the Museum of Natural History. He's the curator of the Tibetan collection.
You shake hands with Mr. Buckingham and show him the door.
I'm counting on you to help me, he says.
So, do we find Sylvia Morrison, the person from the paper, first, or do we go to the museum first? What do you guys think? And I'll go ahead and I'll finish out this book, even though it's going past the hour show limit, because we had that false start. So, one vote for Sylvia, making a love connection. One vote for Sylvia, going once. Going twice. We're doing Sylvia for time. Okay, turn to page 5. First, you look up Sylvia Morrison's phone number in the phone book and call her. You introduce yourself and ask her what she knows about levitation. That's a big subject, she replies. I have hundreds of reports in my files. Would you let me look at those files? You ask. I'd be glad to show them to you sometime, she says. But right now, I'm packing for a trip, and I don't. In that case, I'll be right over, you say, slamming down the phone. This kid needs to learn some boundaries. You throw on your jacket and sprint out of the house. At the corner, you hail a cab and give the driver Sylvia Morrison's address. Halfway there, you notice that another car is following the cab. You wait and watch it for a while to be sure. Why would anyone be following you? Driver, you say, make a sharp right at the next corner. The cab driver turns. After a few seconds, the other car appears around the corner behind you. Should you keep going to Sylvia Morrison's, or should you have the cab make another sharp turn and stop so that you can jump out? Do we want to lead these criminals directly to? And it says here also your spider sense is tingling, but that doesn't help because that can mean lots of things apparently. Keep going. So you want to lead her chase scene. Keep going. Keep driving. So keep going, I'm implying means keep going to Sylvia's, not stop and confront the driver, because it's probably going to lead you getting shot. That is true. She's already given, and she probably has an Amazon Echo. Like she's probably already given her information to the criminal. So let's just keep going. Let's lead these criminals to Sylvia. I could see either of these ending in death, but let's find out. You stay in the cab. Soon it pulls up in front of Sylvia Morrison's apartment building, and you get out. The first thing you do is look back to see if the car that was following you is still there. There's no sign of it for now. Maybe it's just your imagination, and you weren't being followed after all. You go into Sylvia's building and ring her doorbell. The door opens a crack, just enough for you to see the woman behind it. She's tall and attractive, with short dark hair and blue eyes. You guess she must be about 30. What do you want? She asks nervously. I'm the one who called you on the phone 15 minutes ago, you explain. I can't talk to you now, she says, but it's important you start. All right, then, come in quickly, she says, opening the door. Sylvia Morrison slams the door and stands with her back against it. What's wrong, you ask. I just got a phone call warning me that someone's coming after me. You mean trying to kidnap you? It's a long story. I'll try to make it short, Sylvia says with a sigh. I agreed to help a man called Crossley with some research. Ooh, that Crossley. Finding this palace in Tibet. I took the job before I found out that Crossley is dangerous. Very dangerous. I found out from my friend Snide at the museum. Snide has been buying Tibetan art from Crossley before he found out that Crossley was really a smuggler of stolen art. Crossley somehow found that Snide was wise to him. Now he has Snide terrified. He's threatening to kill him. I'm afraid Crossley's found out that I know about him. Fortunately, I know some people in the underworld. They just warned me to leave. Well, let's go, you say. I'm afraid to go out, Sylvia says quietly. Is there another way out of here, you ask? Only a fire escape in the back. In that case, you say, you take the fire escape. I'll stay here for a while to try to delay anyone who comes. It's not safe for you to stay either, Sylvia says. Do we go with Sylvia, or do we stay in the apartment and kind of cover her retreat? What are your thoughts, audience? I can see at this point it feels like we're in the danger zone. Like I can imagine someone busting in and shooting us in the gut. So getting out of there. So Riggy says definitely go with Sylvia. Do we have a counter, Riggies? Going with Sylvia. Going once. Going twice. Okay. Seems like everyone wants to go. I'm moving a little quick just because we're past. I got some food on the slow cooker. 71. Well. Sylvia has a head start and is halfway down the fire escape before you're even out the window. You scramble down the fire escape into the dark alley behind the apartment building. At the bottom, there's nothing around you but shadows and silence. Sylvia? You whisper. I'm over here, she answers. You start towards her. Suddenly, in the dim light, you become aware that you're surrounded by shadowy figures carrying submachine guns. Get the map, one of them snaps. Then you hear Sylvia scream, No, I don't have it. You move towards her and the two men grab you, push you against the wall and search you. This one doesn't have it either, one of them calls off. Then finish him off, a harsh voice orders. Now waita, you start, but you never manage to finish the sentence. A burst of machine gun fire takes you off the case. And that has been Choose Your Illusion 2, Chapter 2. being summarily executed in an alley with an innocent woman. That is definitely true, Will. Someday I think we will get to the thing. This really makes, I mean, I understand that, like, this isn't a profound point, that these are probably made to be cheated through, but boy, we're batting. I don't think we've gotten one good ending for any of these. I mean, the Cave of Time was okay. We like just went home, if I recall. But yeah, Spider-Man had a bad ending. Mario had a bad ending. The Power Master, I guess that actually seemed like an okay ending to me. The Evil Power Master one. The Overnight Ordeal was like not a bad ending. Apollo 13 ended bad. Yeah, this is we're not doing great, guys. But that's okay. We're practicing. Imagine this like a normal stream show, like I'm practicing a speed run, and I'm just gonna keep playing until eventually I just understand choose your own adventure games and know the right choices, and then we'll get through it. So thanks everybody for watching. If you missed the whole thing, this will be up on YouTube. Again, no stream next week, but the whole network is streaming all weekend, so you should definitely tune in and watch us. Starting at 6 p.m. PST, we'll be starting with a live Days of Future cast about the first Wolverine movie, the bad one. So that should be really, really fun. So yeah. So thanks everybody for watching. I'm going to go ahead and cut the stream here, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks, and we'll do one of these terror tracks, which, as I mentioned, at the very least, this will be, here's the blurb. There's a full moon over the bayou, and something's bubbling up from Cajun country. It ain't hot sauce. So just so you guys know, that is what we have to look forward to. This Terror Tracks guy. So see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.